I started, my studies in the university with Timothy Ware, Callistos Ware, of course, and I was meeting from time to time the Archbishop when he was traveling, going around because he was the president, he was visiting different countries, I was attending conferences, so we were meeting, and in the middle of my studies, already the Archbishop thought about me going to Africa, without, of course, asking me. Yes, already in his mind that this young man, he will be the right person to send him there, where myself I want to do the mission work, meaning this seminary where we are. So at one point, around 1975, around 75, yes, he brought to me the idea. I have constructed in Kenya a theological seminary, and I'm looking for somebody to go there and be the first director of the seminary. And I thought that you are the right person to go and open the seminary. So you can imagine now myself, after all, studying in Oxford and publishing my first historic essays in different theological periodicals and scientific, actually, periodicals, I became somehow very egoistic about my, let us say, qualifications. If I was able already to publish a number of studies, historic studies, and this was my era, the area of history of the church, etc. I was doing a lot of research. I was going to different libraries in Europe, in the then Soviet Union, through my friend now, Bishop Kirill. I was doing a lot of research in Russia and Ukraine, and planning to publish a book, which I did. I will show you later on. I have a copy of the book. And finally, I reacted, of course, in a very negative way. Your beatitude. In Cyprus we have so many theologians, we have so many priests, so many monks. Why you have chosen myself to go to Africa? Now myself, I am thinking that I might be one day a very famous professor. This was my egoistic now plan. A young man having a PhD from the University of Oxford. It was a very special, of course, qualification to be a professor easily in any of the universities in Europe. He said to me in a very simple way, I have my reason, he said to me. I kept quiet, but I was definitely negative to his proposal. So I decided to go and speak to Father Sophronius. So I went to meet Father Sophronius and to tell him about the plans of the Archbishop. In a very, I can say, ironic way, to him that after all, who I am today, you see, now the Archbishop is thinking to send me to Africa. Can you imagine? In this way, I was telling Father Sophronius, and Father Sophronius, in a very serious way, he invited me to kneel in front of him. So, which I did. And with his right hand, he blessed me in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Now, Andreas, that was my name before my ordination, now you have to go to Africa. Africa is waiting you to go there. So you can imagine now, if my father confessor for so many years was telling me that I have to go to Africa, I have no other choice. I could not say no. Although in my heart I was doubting very much. So I went back to the Archbishop now to tell him that I am now ready. I will try to present my thesis to the university as early as possible, and then I will be ready after graduation to go to Africa and see what you want me to do there. So 1976 already I was really in a position to present my doctoral thesis. I did it. I had my exams, and I have to mention just for historic purposes that my examiners were two very famous history professors. Professor Sir Stephen Runciman, who is very famous all over the world because he has written so many books about history of Eastern Orthodoxy in English. One of them, the captivity of the great church, the church in captivity, etc. And the other one was a famous Jesuit, also very famous historian, church historian, Joseph Gill. So they were both my examiners. So you can imagine now how I felt where I knew that I'm going to be examined by two very famous historians. What to tell them now if they have any issue with my thesis? And finally, I had my exams in the examination schools in Oxford there, and they were asked, of course, they were having a number of questions about the way I have done my research, and I presented my thesis, and I think I was able to answer to their questions, and I left them without knowing, of course, whether I did well or not. I went back to Father Sophronius again to tell him about the outcome, let us say how the exam was with them, and I received his blessings to go and meet now Archbishop Makarios and tell him that now I am ready to go to Africa. So I went, I met the Archbishop. The only thing which was now remaining was my graduation. And the graduation was already coming the following year, 1977, I think 30th of July. So I met the Archbishop, and the Archbishop was so happy and already had such an enthusiasm that I am ready now to go to Africa, that tomorrow you are flying back, you are going now to Africa. The following day, he said to me, you will go, we will find out about the flights, and you will be going there to see the place, and then you will tell me whether you like the place to stay or not. So, truly, I left him, and in 2 or 3 days, I was already flying to come to Nairobi. Yes, so quickly. So I arriving, of course, here in Nairobi. I was with the future Archbishop because I was a young man. I knew nobody here, but the Archbishop, the successor to now Archbishop Macarius, was his assistant bishop when he visited Kenya in 1970, 1971 to lay the foundation stone of the theological seminary here where we are. So he knew many people here, especially the African leaders. So he was here during my stay for 10 days actually, and the Archbishop, the future Archbishop, was not sure whether I will be ready to stay in Africa. So after 10 days himself, he was going back. So the last day, he asked me the question, are you ready? We are going back tonight to Cyprus. I reacted and I said to him that you are going, not myself. Myself, I decided already that I'm not going anywhere else. I will stay here. Are you sure? He said to me. I said, yes. I made already my mind, and I'm not going anywhere else. Tell the Archbishop that I have already decided that this is a place where I'm going to stay. So he went, and myself, I was left alone here. So I spent January, February, March, April, June, July, and then before going for my graduation, which was, as I said before, I think 30th of July, 1977, I decided to pass through Cyprus to meet the Archbishop and to explain to him more about my decision to stay here in Africa. So really I went, and I went with the then Metropolitan of Paphos, the future Archbishop now. He took me to him, and 3 of us, we had a meeting, and there was another revelation there, which again shows that Father Sophroni was aware about it. Already he knew. So the Archbishop, that very day, before I opened my mouth to speak, he said to me, allow me that the reason why I mentioned to you when we met, and I announced to you that I want you to go to Africa, and I have a special reason. So that very day, he confessed to us the reason why he wanted me to come here. And it is there where myself, I believed that God is really speaking to some people in a very special way, the Holy Spirit. Both minds of the late Archbishop and Saint Sophronius today, they were communicating through the Holy Spirit. Because, and I can say that both of them, they were in a kind prophets. That's what I can use to see that there was coincidence or that was the plan of God, and that the minds of both holy men were communicating in a very special way, unknown to us, through God. So the Archbishop told me that, let me explain to you why I insisted. And you know, the Archbishop was delaying, because myself, when he mentioned the issue to me, I was telling him, but there are so many people, you can find them easily. But he said, no, I don't need anybody else. I need you only, because I have my reason. This was his answer. So today I will tell you why. That very day, by telling me that I believe that you are the right person to go and take care of my plans, how to spread Orthodoxy in Africa. Because myself, I have done the work there by baptizing the 5,000 people, by speaking to the people there in Kenya, by constructing the theological seminary. Now I feel that God will take care and God will direct you what to do. And I'm sure you're going to do the right thing. And imagine now, I was still myself a layman and also a young man, you see. But the Archbishop, actually the day when I was speaking with him before my graduation, 30th of July, it is just before I left Cyprus to go for my graduation. And he said to me, without knowing myself, of course, himself, as I said, it seems that he was a holy man. In 3 days after my graduation, it is when he died. Believe it or not, God is doing these kind of things in our lives, and ourselves, we are not aware and we are not ready to accept that God is really planning, which means that the Archbishop already, because the way he spoke to me that very day, by telling me that, you see, Andreas, myself, I might not meet you again because I'm going. And because I'm going there, pointing heavens, I am now going in peace, that you will be there to continue the work which myself I was not able to fulfill while I was here on earth. I will be up there. But I will be following you, and I will be rejoicing that I have somebody who is ready to accept and carry that heavy cross. So this was another revelation from above, because after my graduation, yes, it was a wonderful day, and believe it or not, present during my graduation were my 2 classmates, the successor of Father Sophrony and now the famous higher monk Zacharias. Both of them, they came on behalf of Saint Sophronius to witness my graduation. And I think that means a lot to all of us. And to see that God is really present. Ourselves, we are not worthy to say that, yes, He's present, He's moving around us, He's there, He's doing His work, and that shows that we should not make our own decisions, but as I said before, we allow God to do His own plans, to fulfill. He has good plans for each and everybody of us, because myself, I never thought that one day I might become the Archbishop, because I was just a layman, a simple human being, and a young theologian, nothing else. And I was not having any plan to do it, to see that I might be the Archbishop. But still, the story continues. Yes, the story continues. After spending 15 years here in Africa as a layman now, I was going to Essex for confession, to meet Father Sophronius. And the last time when I met with him, it was in, I can check my diaries, I would find the details in my diaries, but it was in December 1991 when I went for my last confession to the Father, the future Saint Sophronius. So during that time, he took me around and he said to me, "Today, Andreas, I have a very special need to speak to you of a very serious issue." So you can imagine now, myself, I never knew that soon he will depart from our earthly life. So he opened his mouth by telling me, "Listen very carefully of what I'm going to tell you today. Very soon you will be a bishop." So you can imagine now, I was a theologian, I was a young lay person now, and I asked him the question, "Father, I am not even a deacon yet. How is it possible that I myself to become a bishop? Do you think that it is possible, the Holy Synod, to elect a person who is still a layman to priesthood or to become a bishop?" He told me, "Yes, Andreas, this was the plan of God from the very beginning when I was talking to you." How many years ago? 25 years ago. The first time, isn't it? When I met him for confession, he mentioned to me that God has another plan for you. So he knew already, I think, from that time, what will be my future life. I tried to explain to him again and again that, Father, it's not possible for a layman to become just like that a bishop. But still, he was insisting by telling me, "And don't reject the proposal. The proposal is coming very soon to you." So what to say now? Myself, listening to him, okay, if this is the will of God, and this is what you are telling me now, that this is the plan of God, I have to keep quiet and accept. Although, in my heart, humanly speaking, it was not possible for a layman to be a bishop. So I left him. I came back to Kenya, where I found the new patriarchal exarch of East Africa, the future patriarch of Alexandria, Petros VII. He was now the bishop here. So, because myself, I was already very well known in East Africa, and I knew all the places, the bishop requested me to take him around East Africa. So we visited Kenya, we went to Tanzania, we went to Uganda. I took him around to see the people, to see the parishes, and to see how far we are as Orthodox in East Africa. So one night, as we were walking during the night, and there was no electricity in those remote areas where we were spending our nights and days. So as we were walking, the future patriarch told me that, you know something, Andreas, the best way, the way now I know East Africa, is for you to accept to become a bishop. So I again reacted by telling him, but you see, Your Eminence, I am a layman. I am not even a deacon again. How you think the Holy Synod will elect a layman to be a bishop? He told me yes. So here I have seen another revelation, that the bishop, the archbishop, was already sure that I am to be the one to become the archbishop. I was trying to, again, in our human understanding, that it is not possible for the Holy Synod to elect a lay person to be a bishop. But he told me, for sure, it is upon God. And you will make the decision. So I was remembering now, in my mind, the words of Father Sophronius, who was insisting, and he was 100% sure, emphasizing to me, when they will propose to you that you have to become a bishop, don't say no. Accept the proposal. So I have no other wise. I have no choice. So I finally told the Archbishop that if you think that it is possible, then I have to tell you, proceed. I am ready. But again, I was doubting that it was not possible for a layman. But as I said, because the late Archbishop and future Patriarch was insisting, in the same way that Father Sophronius was telling me, don't say no, don't reject the proposal. So the future Patriarch, Metropolitan Petros of Accra in those days, he left Kenya. He went, he told me, I'm not coming back. Now you are in charge of East Africa. I was a layman now. He said to me, I have so much work to do in West Africa. So now we might meet when you will be already an elect bishop, he said to me. Do the work, continue with the seminary, your work, and with the churches here and with the priests, do what is necessary, and we will meet in the near future. So he went. So the Holy Synod of the Patriarchate met, I think, in May 1992. So one morning, As I was seated, the office of the Archbishop was inside this room here. We were there, and the bell, the telephone, in those days there were no digital mobiles. There were those lines. So the telephone rang, I took it, hello, and the one who was on the line was Patriarch, the late Patriarch Parthenios. So the Holy Synod was to meet that very morning. So the Patriarch wanted to hear from me now. So listen, Andreas, he said to me, the Patriarch, soon the Holy Synod is meeting, and the Patriarchal Exarch is going to propose to the Holy Synod for you to be a bishop. How do you see? Do you accept? So you can imagine now my situation, my position, and I was again bringing in my mind the words of Father Sophronius, not to say no, but to accept the proposal. That was what he was telling. You accept the proposal to be a bishop. So I said to the Patriarch, Your Beatitude, thank you very much for your proposal. I will say yes. I will accept whatever the decision of the Holy Synod will be. Thank you very much. Andreas, my name was Andreas, so I was still a layman myself. And that was the end of the conversation with the Patriarch. The Holy Synod that very day, they met, of course, and I was elected as a bishop. So in the evening, again, the same telephone was ringing at around 7 in the evening, and I took the telephone, and again the Patriarch was speaking to me by telling me, Axios. You know, Axios means in Greek worthy. What we say when we are ordained or when we are elected. He said to me, the Holy Synod today elected you to be a bishop of Riruta. Riruta is the area where we are. This is the name of the area. So he said to me, the Holy Synod decided to give you the title of a bishop of that area. Congratulations. Now the Patriarchal Exarch will arrange when to come with 2 other bishops to consecrate you there in the seminary as a new bishop now. So I say thank you very much. Your Beatitude convey to the members of the Holy Synod my gratitude and my thanks for electing me to be a bishop. But in reality, myself, I still doubting, and I never announced to anybody that I was elected. We were now in May. I kept quiet, and the only person I wrote, because the Father Sophronius was already sick, he was very weak, and he was, because of his age, he was shivering like this. He could not write easily. But when I announced to him my election, he wrote to me a historic message, which I can read one day. I have it, with his own handwriting, and you can see he wrote it in Russian language. The hand was like this, but he wrote it finally, asking me to forgive him that he's not able to write rightly, but he wrote it. I'm sure he made a lot of efforts to write that note to me after my election as a bishop. So after 2 months, in July 1992, the patriarchal exar arrived here together with our other two bishops. On Monday, I was ordained as a deacon, on Tuesday as a priest, and on Saturday here in this chapel as a bishop. And of course, I was not having the beard. No, I was not having even, no. And actually, when I went to welcome the Archbishop Petros, the future patriarch, when he met me, he asked me the question, "You mean you don't have the beard? I'm going to ordain you tomorrow to be a bishop, and you are not having a beard." I said to him, "I don't believe yet. I'm not sure whether until I see you ordaining me." So this was the end, and of course a prophecy of the late Saint Sophronius. The prophecy which started actually when I first met him in 1966. Yes. So we thank God. And we are here, and we are under the protection and under the wings of the angels and the Holy Spirit. So this is the end.